On the night of February 9, 1567, a house exploded in Edinburgh. Inside the garden, they found a king's body, strangled, not burned, and no one has ever proven who did it. But 5 months later, a box of letters appeared, and they were enough to end a queen's reign forever. This is the story of how a queen lost her throne, not through war, not through invasion, but through a box that may have contained forged evidence. To this day, no one can prove she was innocent, and no one can prove she was guilty either. By 1567, Mary was 24 years old and had already survived more political chaos than most monarchs face in a lifetime. Queen of Scotland since she was 6 days old, briefly Queen of France and widowed at 18. In Scotland she was trying to rule a country that didn't fully trust their Catholic queen, Protestant nobility, and a court full of men who each thought they should be the one really in charge. Her second marriage, to Lord Darnley, had already gone toxic. Darnley was vain, jealous, and had been involved in the murder of Mary's secretary, David Riccio, stabbed to death in front of her while she was pregnant. The marriage was, by every account, finished in every way except legally. Then came February 1567. Darnley was recovering from illness at a house called Kirk O' Field, just outside Edinburgh's walls. In the early hours of February 10, the house was destroyed by a gunpowder explosion. But here's the detail that makes this a real mystery, not just a tragedy. Darnley's body was found in the garden outside, not in the wreckage. He hadn't been in the house when it blew up. He appeared to have been strangled rather than killed in the explosion. Someone had gotten him out of that house and killed him before it went up. Which means the explosion wasn't the murder weapon, it was the cover story. Suspicion fell immediately on one man, James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell. He was generally believed to have orchestrated the murder, but he stood trial and was acquitted in April 1567. A month later, he married Mary. The marriage was the final straw. It horrified Mary's subjects, and it was rumored Bothwell had abducted and forced her into it, but the public read it differently, a murderer marrying his victim's widow. Scottish lords rose up. Mary and Bothwell tried to raise an army to fight them off. It fell apart. Mary surrendered at the Battle of Carberry Hill on the 15th of June, 1567, and was imprisoned at Lochleven Castle. And this is where the actual scandal begins. 5 days after her surrender, rumors started spreading that letters had been found, letters written in Mary's own hand to Bothwell, allegedly proving she knew about, or even helped plan, her husband's murder. These became known as the casket letters, 8 unsigned letters supposedly from Mary to Bothwell, plus 2 marriage contracts and love sonnets, all found together in a silver box. Under pressure, and with public opinion turning after the letters surfaced, Mary abdicated on July 24, 1567, in favor of her 1-year-old son. She was 24 years old and had just lost the only throne she'd ever known. Here's what most retellings skip over. Mary denied writing the letters and insisted they were forgeries, arguing that her handwriting wasn't hard to imitate. The case against them is stronger than you'd think. The letters were unsigned, undated, and inconsistent, and they were produced by Mary's own half-brother, who benefited enormously from her downfall by becoming regent. The surviving copies are rough, mistranslated excerpts from French, not the originals. Many historians today believe the letters were, at minimum, tampered with, genuine fragments stitched together with fabricated material. The originals were likely destroyed around 1584 by Mary's own son. No complete original set has ever existed for modern historians to examine. Think about what that means. The entire case that ended her reign rests on documents that don't exist anymore, that were controlled the whole time by the people who wanted her gone. Even after nearly 450 years of study, there is no concrete proof of her complicity in Darnley's murder or of any conspiracy with Bothwell. Mary fled to England, threw herself on the mercy of her cousin, Elizabeth I. Although they were cousins, Elizabeth locked her up for 19 years, then had her executed in 1587. But here's the twist worth ending on: it didn't actually work. Mary's son became James VI of Scotland and later James I of England, meaning every British monarch since 1603 has descended from Mary, not from Elizabeth, who died childless. The scandal cost her the crown. It didn't cost her the bloodline. So forged, tampered with, or genuine? Even today, historians are split. Tell me what you think happened to those letters in the comments, and if you want the next cold case from history, please like and subscribe.